Hey everybody, I'm Ewashkiw from Adventure Yoga. Thanks for joining me for this 35-minute gentle flow. Today we're going to work to connect to our breath, and our body, and our practice just as a way to soften and really just spend some time with yourself. It's suitable for everybody. So wherever you are in your practice, let's do a little gentle flow. Unroll your mat, and I'll see you there in just a few seconds. To begin, please join me in Child's Pose. Let's come into Child's Pose, take your knees wide, roughly as wide as your mat. Bring your big toes together to touch. Sit back on your heels and fold forward. Take your arms out in front of you and stretch them out. Rest your forehead on the ground if it will come to the ground. If it doesn't come to the ground, you can put your hands underneath your head to support your head. Make fists, maybe stack your fists. It's a good way to support your head if it doesn't come all the way down to the ground here. Just take a moment here to settle. Just to really arrive here on your mat. We've got about 30 minutes to get through this gentle flow. Gentle doesn't necessarily mean slow, but this will be a slightly slower flow. Start to notice your breath. Just become aware of it. With an inhale, come up to your hands and knees, all fours. Bring your knees a little closer together. Tuck your toes and come into downward facing dog. Coming up into down dog from all fours, your stance is often a little short. Mine definitely is here, so I'm going to take my hands forward a little more just to find the right length from a down dog. If you're trying to find that length, you can always shift into plank pose and find shoulders over your wrists and heels over the balls of your feet. That's how far apart you want your hands and feet for down dog. Everybody bend your left knee and straighten your right leg. I want you to get a bit of a calf stretch, or even a lot of a calf stretch here on your right calf muscles. So to help with that, push through your hands. Lift through your butt, lift it up, and even move it back as you stretch your right heel back and down towards the ground. And stay here and breathe into this. And then change sides, bend your right knee, straighten your left leg. And again, we're going for the calf stretch here on your left leg. So push through your hands, lift your hips up, and move them back, and stretch your left heel back and down. And just stay here and breathe into the stretch. Just breathe into this moment. Notice your breath and how it helps you move through your body and stretch through your body. Now bend both knees. So keep your right knee bent, bend your left knee, and look forward. Look past your hands, and then walk forward. Come to Uttanasana, the forward fold. So touch the ground, bend your knees as much as you need to, and then relax your head and fold over your legs. Come up on your fingertips if your hands are flat, and then straighten your arms. Lift your chest away from your legs, and stretch through your spine, half forward fold, or Ardha Uttanasana. And then fold forward, back into the forward fold, Uttanasana. Straighten your arms, lift your chest, stretch your spine, Ardha Uttanasana. And fold forward, Uttanasana. Bend your knees a little if your legs are straight. Place your hands on your waist and stand up. Stretch your arms down at your sides. Forward Tadasana. Look forward. Notice your breath. We're going to start to move with our breath a little bit. Here, stretch your arms up and inhale. Bend your knees a little, fold forward and exhale. Come to your fingertips, straighten your arms, lift your chest, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. And then place your hands flat and step it back to plank pose. Exhale. Step forward, back to Uttanasana. Inhale. Come up on your fingertips and exhale. Straighten your arms, lift your chest. Stay here. Inhale and lengthen through your spine. And exhale, fold forward. Push down through your feet, stand up and reach up. Inhale. Urdhva Hastasana, arms reaching up. And then exhale, arms to your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, stretch your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Bend your knees if you need to touch the ground. Straighten your arms, lift your chest, Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale. Step it back to plank pose. Exhale. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. Inhale. Bring your knees down to the ground. And exhale. If your shoulders move back behind your wrists, just shift forward a little. Inhale, push through your hands. And then exhale, bend your elbows. Hug your thighs in to help engage your core. And lower until your shoulders as high as your elbows or as best as you can. Chaturanga Dandasana. Then untuck your toes. Lower your hips down to the ground and lift your chest up a little more. Cobra, Bhujangasana. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips, lift up and back, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward, and walk forward. Come up onto your fingertips and with your inhale, straighten your arms, lift your chest. Ardha Uttanasana. And then fold forward, Uttanasana. Squeeze your legs in and stand up, reach up. Urdhva Hastasana. And then exhale. Tadasana. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold forward, touch the ground. Uttanasana. Inhale, straighten your arms, lift your chest. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back to plank pose. Savasana. You can keep your knees off the ground or bring them down like we did in the last round. And then bend your elbows and lower till you're about halfway down or shoulders in line with your elbows. Lower your hips to the ground. Everybody untuck your toes. Curl it up. Cobra. Lift your chest. Squeeze your thighs in to help lift through your upper chest. And then tuck your toes. Lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Now we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your knees. Look forward and walk forward. Come up to your fingertips and inhale. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. And exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana. Stand up and reach up. Inhale. Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale. Tadasana. One more, Namaste. Inhale, reach up. That's what we're doing here, this little flow. Exhale, fold forward. It's called Namaste. Inhale, lift your chest. Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, step back to plank pose. And bend your elbows. You can bring your knees down if you would like. Chaturanga Dandasana. Lower about halfway. And then lower your hips. Place your feet flat. Bhujangasana, Cobra. And tuck your toes. Lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Lift your hips up and back. Inhale. Squeeze your thighs in as you bend your knees and look forward. Exhale. Walk forward with your breath out, and with your inhale, straighten your arms, lift your chest. And exhale, fold forward. Uttanasana. Stand up, reach up, inhale, Urdhva. Bring your arms to your sides, Tadasana. Steady your breath here. Just take a couple breaths here. So that was Sun Salutation A, or Surya Namaskar A. We did a little build up to that. And now we're going to do a little modification of Surya Namaskar B. We're going to use that for the rest of our class, and use that just to build and grow and take ourselves into this flow. Bring your feet together. Stretch your arms up. Look up and bring your hands together. This is called Urdhva Namaskarasana. And then exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Bend your knees if you need to touch the ground. It's okay, because we're all going to bend our knees in a second anyway. Bend your knees, everybody, look forward, and then lift your hands off the ground, stretch your arms out parallel to the ground. Utkatasana, bend your knees. So you can do this with arms parallel to the ground, and we'll still call it Utkatasana. If you want to take it a little further, you can stretch your arms up and lift your torso a little more for a fuller version of Utkatasana. And if you want to take that even further, you can look up and bring your hands together. Oh my, right? Yeah. And then fold forward, everybody. Uttanasana. Straighten your legs as best as you can. Touch the ground. Inhale, lift your chest. Ardha Uttanasana. Place your hands flat. Step back to plank pose. Palakasana. And again here, choose knees up or knees down. Whatever is going to be suiting you the best here. Push through your hands, push through your toes, squeeze your thighs in, and bend your elbows. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog this time. So the difference is your hips are off the ground. Straighten your legs, lift your hips, lift your chest, back bend. Upward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Step your right leg forward and bring it up between your hands. So that could take a couple of steps to get there. Bring your ankle underneath your right knee. So right ankle underneath your knee, and look forward. Lunge or Banarasana. Push down through your feet. Make your legs strong by drawing in and squeeze your thighs in towards each other. Lift your torso, bring your hands onto your waist. So in Surya Namaskar B, often we would do Warrior 1 here. We're going to do this modification. It's called Crescent Lunge. Stretch your arms up overhead. Here, if having your knee off the ground is too much, if it's too intense for you, you can always bring your left knee down to the ground. Everybody bring your hands down to the ground. If your left knee is on the ground, bring it off the ground and step it back to plank pose. Choose knees up or knees down and bend your elbows and lower Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, place your feet flat, lift your chest, and downward facing dog. This time, step your left foot forward. Step it forward between your hands, bring your left ankle underneath your left knee, come up on your fingertips and look forward, lunge. If you brought your knee down on that first side and you know you're going to want your knee on the ground on this side, you can bring your knee down now. Push down through your feet. And then imagine that you're squeezing your thighs in so much that they touch each other. And then lift your torso, bring your hands onto your waist. Stretch your arms up. Ashtachandrasana, or crescent lunge. This is a really good modification for Warrior 1. Helps us do the thing that I want us to play with as much as we can today, which is keeping our hips square to the front of the room. So think about that here. Pull your left hip back just a little bit and stretch your left knee forward. Push down through your right foot and twist your right leg in. Squeeze your legs towards each other. Just a little more. Bring your hands down to the ground. Step back to plank pose. And lower Chaturanga. Bend your elbows. Lower about halfway. Upward facing dog, lift your chest. Downward facing dog, exhale. Let's do 3 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Lift your hips up and back. Inhale. Hug your thighs in. Exhale. Bend your knees, look forward, and make your way forward. Bring your feet together. Straighten your arms, lift your chest, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, Uttanasana. Remember, you can bend your knees if you need to touch the ground. And then everybody bend your knees, Utkatasana. Arms parallel to the ground or reaching up. And Tadasana. Alright, let's take that and just turn it into the flow for one full round. See what we can do with half breath movements. Bend your knees, lift your arms up, Utkatasana, and inhale. Fold forward and exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift your chest, Ardha Uttanasana, and exhale, step back to plank pose and lower into Chaturanga Dandasana. You can bring your knees down if you would like. Inhale into up dog, and exhale into down dog. Step your right foot forward, set up for lunge, inhale. Place your feet firmly on the ground and look forward, and exhale. Squeeze your thighs in and inhale, lift your torso, stretch your arms up. And exhale here. Inhale, bring your hands down. And exhale, step it back to plank pose. Choose knees up or knees down and lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left leg forward. Inhale, set your legs up for your lunge. Look forward and exhale. Squeeze your thighs in. Inhale, lift your torso, stretch your arms up. Pull your left hip back, twist your right leg in, squeeze your thighs in, and exhale. Inhale, bring your hands down to the ground and step back to plank pose. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Bend your knees, look forward, and exhale. And with your breath out, make your way forward. Ardha Uttanasana, come to your fingertips, straighten your arms. And exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Bend your knees, stretch your arms up, Utkatasana, inhale. And Tadasana. Exhale. We'll keep going. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift your chest, squeeze your legs in to help stretch your spine. And then exhale, step back to plank pose and lower into Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Hug your thighs in, lift your chest. And exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right leg forward, but pause. Inhale. Now we're going to do full warrior one. So step your left foot forward just a little bit. And then turn your left heel over to the left and down to the ground. Roughly lining up heel to heel on your mat. Turn your left toes forward a lot and have your right toes pointing straight ahead. Bend your right knee over your right ankle. Lift through your torso and bring your hands onto your waist. Lift your torso up more. And then face the same direction as your right knee. Now look down at your hands, and you're probably doing something pretty similar to me. Your left hip is probably pulled back a fair amount, and your right hip is moving forward in relation to your left hip. So pull back on your right hip, pull back with your right hip, but stretch your right knee forward. And then from your left leg, push to your left foot, twist your left leg in and pull your left hip forward. Stretch your right knee forward, stretch your arms up. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. You can stay here or look up and bring your hands together. Bring your hands down to the ground, lift your left heel up, so back to the lunge, wiggle your left foot back a little, and then step back to plank pose. Again, knees up or knees down. Chaturanga Dandasana, bend your elbows, lower your chest, upward facing dog, place your feet flat, lift your knees off the ground, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Step your left leg forward, inhale and pause here. Look back at your right foot, step it forward just a little, turn your right heel in and down. Line up your feet heel to heel, and turn your right toes forward a lot, turn your left toes forward all the way. Then push through your right foot and stretch your left knee forward over your ankle. Lift your torso, bring your hands onto your waist. Almost into warrior one. Now, stretch your left knee forward, pull back with your left hip. Look at your right hip, we need to move that forward. So push through your right foot and twist your right leg in as you pull your right hip forward. Squeeze your thighs towards each other. Stretch your arms up. Warrior one. Maybe you look up and bring your hands together. It's just a little extra flourish you can do if it's available to you. Bring your hands down to the ground, lift your right heel, wiggle your foot back a little, and step back to plank pose. Again, knees up or knees down, bend your elbows, Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward, and exhale. And with your breath out, move forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend your knees, lift your torso, Utkatasana, and Tadasana. Same little sequence with warrior one in it instead of the lunge, just like we practiced. And then we're going to add one more pose there. It'll go like this. Bend your knees, lift your arms, Utkatasana. Inhale. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Exhale. Lift your chest, Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale. Step back to plank pose and bend your elbows, Chaturanga Dandasana. Exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right leg forward and spin your left heel down as you step your foot forward a little. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior one. Stretch your right knee forward, lift your torso, stretch your arms up. Warrior one. Now straighten your right leg, so both legs are straight. Pull your right hip back, twist your left leg in and squeeze your left leg into your right, squeeze your right leg into your left. Keep your arms up, stretch up, and then stick your butt back as you stretch your chest forward, flex at your hip, and fold forward. Grab your right leg, pull up on your leg, stretch your torso down along your spine. If you can comfortably touch the ground with both legs straight here, do that. Pull your right hip back, twist your left leg in, and squeeze your legs in towards each other. Stretch through your spine. Now let's go back to warrior one. Push through your left foot. Bend into your right knee, lift your torso, stretch your arms up. Virabhadrasana 1. Bring your hands down to the ground. Lift your left heel and step it back to plank pose. And bend your elbows, Chaturanga Dandasana. Lift your chest, inhale, up dog, and exhale, down dog. Step your left leg forward, and step your right foot forward a little, turn your heel down, warrior one. Bend into your left knee, lift your torso, stretch your arms up, Virabhadrasana 1. Pull your left leg up and straight, so straighten your left leg. Pull your left hip back, twist your right leg in and squeeze your thighs in, stretch up, and then stick your butt back as you start to flex at your left hip, fold forward, hold on to your left leg, pull up on your leg, stretch your spine long along your leg. Pull your left hip back, twist your right leg in and squeeze your legs in towards each other, and then stretch your spine along your leg more. This is Parsvakonasana or pyramid pose. Push through your right foot, going back to warrior one. Bend into your left knee, lift your torso, stretch your arms up, bring your hands down to the ground, lift your right heel, step it back to plank pose, and lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog, inhale, downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Bend your knees forward and make your way forward. Come up to your fingertips, Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale, fold forward, Uttanasana, exhale. Bend your knees, sit deeply, lift your torso, lift your arms, Utkatasana, inhale. Tadasana, straighten your legs, straighten your arms, exhale. Stay here. Separate your feet a little bit. And this isn't a complicated yoga thing, it's just to get some movement into our shoulders. They're called arm swings. So with straight or straight-ish arms, swing your arms in front of you and back behind you. When you bring them in front, cross your arms, and then change the cross when they come in front. So just alternate between which arm's on top. When you go back, you can really squeeze your shoulder blades to work to get your shoulder blades together more. It's just really getting some opening into our shoulder joints. All right, and then you can let those go. Separate your feet so that they're about as wide as your hip. Behind your back, interlace your fingers. And then turn your upper arms out and straighten your arms. Bend your knees a little and fold forward. Move your shoulders away from your ears. Stretch your head down and fold in a little more. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. Stretch across the front of your chest. Lift up through your butt. And then slowly release your hands. Bring them onto your waist. And stand up. Cool. Bring your feet together. Utkatasana. One more time through this sequence. Bend your knees, lift your arms up. Inhale. Fold forward. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift your chest, Ardha Uttanasana. Step back to plank pose and bend your elbows. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right leg forward, left heel down for warrior one. So set your legs up. When you're ready, lift your torso. Stretch up. Bring your hands in front of your heart in prayer position. Pull your right hip back, twist your left leg in, squeeze your thighs in, and stretch your right knee forward. Point your fingers down. So that's it, just flip your hands over, then point your fingers forward, then point your fingers up. Fairly straightforward here. Not so straightforward when we can't see what's happening. Reach back behind you. Bring your hands together and have your fingers pointing towards the ground in prayer, but touch your thumbs to your spine. So this is what we did when we went here. Just doing that at our back. Now we gotta go to here. So we have to move your heels of your hands away from your back, so move your wrists away. Flip your hands over so your fingers point towards your spine. Roll your shoulders back, push your hands together. Now we gotta go up. So see what happens. See if you can turn it up a notch. Flip your hands over. This should feel awkward on your wrists. Roll your shoulders back. And if you can get here, reverse prayer, maybe you can slide your fingers up your back a little more. If this is like, Stephen, what is going on? I can't do this. You can hold your wrists behind your back. So hold one wrist, or hold your elbows behind your back. Also a good option. One of those. Hold your wrist, hold your elbows, or find reverse prayer. Pull your right hip back, twist your left leg in, and squeeze your thighs in. Push through your left foot and bend into your right knee. Lift your chest. Warrior one with reverse prayer. And then straighten your right leg. Pull your right hip back, twist your left leg in, squeeze your thighs in, stretch forward and fold forward. Parsvakonasana. Reverse prayer version, the full version. Bend into your right knee, lift your chest. Back to this warrior one with reverse prayer. And then hands to your heart. And then hands to the ground, lift your left heel. Step it back to plank pose. And Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your left leg forward, spin your right heel down. Come up, stretch your arms up. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. And then bring your hands to your heart. Pull your left hip back, twist your right leg in and squeeze your thighs in. Push through your right foot and bend into your left knee. And then point your fingers down.
Point your fingers forward and point your fingers up. So we can do those 3 motions here. I know it's not the same behind us. Take your hands back behind you, bring your hands together. So fingers pointing down, thumbs to your spine. That's stage 1. And move your shoulders back, move your wrists away from your back, flip your hands so your fingers point towards your spine. And then if you've got here, this is really a good, amazing place to get to. It's tough work. Move your shoulders back, squeeze your hands together, and see what happens if you flip them over, and maybe you can get the full reverse prayer here. Maybe. If not, it's cool. Stay here if you're okay with this shape that you're making, or hold one wrist, or hold your elbows. Pull your left hip back, push through your right foot and twist your right leg in, squeeze your thighs in. Push through your right foot, bend into your left knee. Warrior 1 with reverse prayer. But we've been here a long time, so let's move towards Parsvakonasana. Straighten your left leg, stretch up through your spine, and flex at your hip, fold over your left leg. Parsvakonasana, reverse prayer. Bend into your left knee, lift your torso, come up. Bring your hands into regular prayer. And bring your hands to the ground. Lift your right heel, step it back to plank pose. And lower Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Child's pose. Exhale. I know you're really disappointed that we're skipping that extra Utkatasana at the end. And instead we came here. I'm sorry. It's part of me attempting to look after you, attempting to keep this gentle. Breathe into your lower back here. While we focused on what was happening in our legs and our hips, a lot of these poses demand movement from our lower back. We did arching and rounding, back and forth, back and forth. So just breathe into your lower back here. Give it the respect it deserves. And then sit up and swing your legs around in front of you. Place your feet on the ground. Bring your hands back behind you. Reverse table. Push your feet down. Lift your hips up. Roughly have your feet under your knees, hands under your shoulders, and lift through your chest, lift through your hips. Look up. Reverse table. Stretch your chest, lift through your hips to stretch the front of your hips, and then bring your butt down to the ground. Move your feet forward, lift your torso up, bring your right ankle onto your left knee. So lift it up, pick it up, bring your right ankle onto your left knee. Take your hands back behind you with your fingers turning out towards the sides, and then sit up tall. Move your right knee forward a little. Think about your right ankle and engage it, flex it. Push your right knee forward. Stretch up through your spine. And change sides. Bring your right foot down to the ground. Bring your left foot up on top of your right knee. So you can use your hands to help pick it up. Place it there. Touch your hands to the ground beside you, fingers pointing up towards your sides. Engage your left ankle, flex it, pull your toes towards your left knee, sit up tall, and move your left knee forward. So set up for a pose we call Hindolasana. Sometimes this is just called a deep glute stretch, because it helps stretch your hips, your outer butt. And then bring your left foot down to the ground. Lie down on your back. Do a gentle twist before we do a short Savasana. Bend your elbows out to your sides in cactus pose. Bring your feet as wide as your mat. And then roll your knees to the left and look to the right. Bring your knees up to center. Move them over to the right, look to the left. And just flow through that, move through the sides of this a little bit. We call this one windshield wipers pose, so you can imagine that your knees, the windshield wipers or windscreen wipers going back and forth on your car window or whatever you can imagine. And then after your next knees to the right, come back up to center. Bring your knees into your chest. Hold the fronts of your knees and just give your lower back a little love. Just roll in circles. And then change directions if you're making circles. Let's take a short Savasana. Stretch your legs out on your mat. Stretch your body out on your mat. With your arms at your sides, turn your palms up. Close your eyes. And relax. If you have more than a minute for your Savasana, you can hit pause now. And just hit play again when you're ready to finish the class. Relax. Allow your legs to turn out so that your hips can relax a little here. Relax across your eyes and your forehead. I wish we had more time for Savasana, but that is the time we have. Start to deepen your breath. Move your fingers, move your feet. Stretch your arms up and overhead. And stretch long through your fingers and toes. Stretch through your whole body. And then bend your knees. Turn onto your side. And make your way up to seated. And come to a seated position. Bring your hands in front of your heart in the prayer position, Anjali Mudra. Close your eyes or look down at the ground and soften your eyes. I hope this class helped you just get out of your mind, get out of your thoughts, and get into your body and connect to your breath. This opportunity to twist our hips, to turn into ourselves is really one of the great benefits of our practice, letting go of all of the thoughts and just giving ourselves the chance to be with ourselves. Thanks for spending this time with yourself. Thanks for practicing. Namaste. Thanks for practicing with me. I hope that really helped you turn in and tune in to your breath and your body and yourself. This is what yoga's for, isn't it? If you've got any questions, please put it in the comments below. And if you would like another class of mine to do in the future, there's one I recommend. Click on it, add it to your watch later list. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, you can just click on my picture right over there and subscribe. Picture. Don't know why I said it like that, but click on it anyway and subscribe. Thanks, homies. See you later.